Most people spend a considerable length of time at work. So it should be a relaxed environment where you're able to do whatever you want. Right? Wrong. From time to time, we make mistakes at work, many of which have no significant impact on our career. However, there are certain things that can damage your company, damage your career, and ruin your reputation. These things may cause you to lose respect from your colleagues or even to lose your job. In today's episode of Mind the Gap, we're going to look at 5 things you should never do at the workplace.
I'm Benga.
And I'm Tinuke. Welcome to this episode of Mind the Gap. So Benga, can you tell us one of the 5 things you should never do at work?
The first one will be never use your work-issued computer inappropriately. And by inappropriately, I mean just think first. Think first. Never visit any site that you know may compromise your reputation or your career, because you may not know this, and I hope you do actually. The IT department can really access any site that you visit.
I think everybody should know that. Everything you do can be tracked or is tracked. So it's just a matter of them pulling it up when they need to. Anything.
So think first really before you access anything. And I have this example of a gentleman that was seconded abroad by his company, and within the first 2 months he was sent back home because he was accessing a site that he shouldn't be accessing really. And it was a porn site. So he was sent back.
What, at work?
At work.
Oh dear.
He was sent back and he lost his job. And so it's just don't use your company issued computer inappropriately. Be very, very careful.
Okay, so you have the laptop, but be careful what you do with it. Thank you for that one. Okay, so second thing you should never do at work is don't gossip and don't spread rumors about your colleagues. It's common for people to gather together and to talk, and I suppose it's part of life, and gossip does come up.
But it's unprofessional. It's unprofessional, and I think that's what everyone should realize. It's unprofessional because you never want to be at the other end. Just imagine if someone is gossiping about you or spreading rumors about you.
Well, we never feel we're going to be at the other end of it. We always feel, you want to talk, you want to comment on what somebody has done, but I do agree with you that if you put yourself in the other person's shoes, it's not often a nice experience.
It's not a professional thing to do. So people may do it, and the fact that a lot of people do it in the workplace. So we're going to be practical here or pragmatic here. It does happen.
It does.
Absolutely. It does happen. But
it does happen.
The wisdom is try and extricate yourself from any situation like that, and don't get involved because it can be offensive if people find out that you're talking about them.
Okay, and also offense. I mean, it creates a lot of animosity. People are unhappy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension sometimes, unnecessary tension. So it's just best to avoid it.
It is.
I would imagine it means you're going to stand out as the one who's different. So when the gossip is going around, you turn your face and you just don't make any comment.
Why not stand out for a good thing? Why not stand out for a good thing?
I suppose for a good thing it's easy, but sometimes it's not easy for us to be the odd one out.
I understand that, but it's just that, think about it. If you are found out, if someone finds out that you were spreading rumors about them or you were listening to or entertaining rumors about them, how would they feel? How would they feel?
Okay, so tension, unnecessary tension at work. Okay, thanks for that one. Another one is don't dress inappropriately to work. So you probably say, what is inappropriate? The first thing you need to do is find out what the dress code is. Yeah. Every company would have a policy book. So when you're hired, they would have given you some kind of policy book. You can always look at it, find out what the dress code is. Yeah. If it's formal, you need to make sure you're formally dressed. There's smart casual, which can range, there's a long range of what is smart casual. And I think
that's where the problem is, actually, because when it's smart casual, you tend to find that people try and address.
They just go down.
They define the smart casual as what?
That can be defined.
Yeah.
So and I think that's where the care needs to be taken.
The care needs to be taken. For example, with smart casual, with most businesses, they might. Smart casual does not mean you can dress in a onesie to work.
Okay, I have I have heard of someone coming to work in a onesie.
Yeah.
You know, if you are back end, your work is not client facing, particularly technical jobs, and you know you just go in there, get into the system, do what you need to do, and go home. Sometimes you just roll out of bed. You're familiar with the people at work. You just want to go in there, mark your hours, and go
it's a
back
onesie.
home.
It's a onesie.
Yeah.
The challenge with that is that you may find that it's on that same day that you needed to see someone, maybe someone that you have been expecting to cut a deal with, whatever, 5 billion, whatever.
Decides to show up. Yes, and then they call you from the back. You're the expert.
And you come out
come and speak to
in a onesie. I won't spend my money with someone who is wearing a onesie. And it's just... I'm joking about that, but the reality is that you never really know what may happen. And there was the case of an MP, an opposition MP actually, and she was a leading opposition light in the Labour Party of the UK Parliament. That this was only recently. She came to work. She wasn't expecting that she would be asked to speak on that day. Okay. And she was, and there she was.
So what was she wearing?
She was, I think, I don't know how you describe this thing, but I know that there was just one shoulder. The other shoulder was open.
Okay.
And as she was speaking, I think the dress even went a bit lower.
Oh dear.
And it created a kerfuffle on the TV. And the funny thing was that most of the people that were actually challenging her were female, not even male now. So it wasn't something that was seen as misogynistic.
Well, sometimes we say women are tougher on women, and
okay, perhaps.
So it's
perhaps. But the issue here was that she wasn't expecting to be called by the speaker on that day to present what she had to.
So was that her defense?
Yeah, I think she said she had attended something that evening or the previous evening or in the morning. I can't remember the exact time. And she wasn't expecting to be called to deliver something from the dispatch box. And there she was, dispatching from the...
And the whole world seeing her as well.
Absolutely.
So just dress appropriately. If you're going to work...
The thing, though, was that she now auctioned that dress for about £25,000 or thereabout for charity, eventually.
I should be the one wearing the dress then.
So,
I wish I was. So that was the golden dress that brought a lot of money.
It brought a lot of money, but I think she saw the opportunity in that. So it was auctioned for charity.
For charity. Okay, good thing. But the point is just to work appropriately. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, and I think sometimes the fact that you have smart casual does not mean that you should wear shorts or jeans. And just find out what the company policy is, and you won't feel.
Jeans does creep in. So chinos are usually allowed with smart casual, and then it begins to move a little bit into the jeans realm. So that's an easy one, but you need to check. Most companies don't want jeans.
And if it's your company policy that it's accepted, then it's okay.
Yeah, of course,
so we're not trying to straitjacket anyone here. We're just saying, check out, find out what the company policy is, and as much as possible adhere to it.
Dress appropriately. Yeah. Okay, and also don't be persistently late to work, late to meetings, or take very long breaks, so you disappear for 1.5 hours, 2 hours. People often don't say anything, but they do notice.
People do notice, and I think that's the point, that people are always watching. Never forget that people are always watching. And besides, if you are constantly late to meetings, it means that you are holding...
You're holding up the meeting,
You're holding your colleagues back, and people will notice, or you're constantly late to work. The fact that you may have flexi time does not mean that, okay, you should overkill. So there are companies that would say, okay, if you come at 8 o'clock, you can leave at 5 or 4. If you come at 9, you can leave at 5. If you come at 10, you can leave at 6. So that doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, because it's flexi, I'll come at 1 o'clock.
You need to make up your hours. Of course, not 1 o'clock. But you need to make up your hours if you're doing flexi. We all know that, but there's a tendency, because it's not strictly monitored, there's a tendency that you've come in at 10, but you still want to leave at 4:30 or 5. So if you need to do that, always agree with your manager. So you need to go early, you're going to make up the time or whatever. Let it be agreed. If it can be noted in writing, even better. It just prevents any unnecessary hassles about timekeeping at work.
Yeah, and in cases where there is a set time, if you're meant to be at work at 8 o'clock, it means that you should be there to start working at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so that's just before 8,
not to walk in at
8 on the dot,
8
or 8:05.
8:05 or 8:10 and be thinking, oh, it's only 10 minutes. If you're persistently late, people would notice. And it's not a problem if you are late once in a month or whatever for any reason, but it's when it's persistent. Or if you're late to meetings regularly, it's a problem. And another one, is that okay if I...
Yeah, please go ahead. That would be the fifth one.
The fifth one is do not spend too much time on your phone, social media sites, or personal calls, or any non-work related stuff.
Okay, that's the...
a lot
that's
of
the challenging one.
It's a great one. A lot of people find themselves in this. So they're not necessarily doing something wrong on their office-issued computer, but what they do is that they pick up their phones from family members, from friends, as if they're running a parallel business. So occasionally you may have a family member call you because there's a major issue. But be careful not to be constantly on your phone, ringing your friends, picking up calls from your friends, or checking your social media, checking your Facebook at work.
That's a lot of discipline.
It is.
Self-discipline, because nobody's going to do it for you. Your bosses are going to... Well, you don't expect your boss to do that. If your boss is saying that to you, that means... something's gone wrong.
There's a problem
There's
already.
a problem. So you want to prevent any problems by putting in those checks. Yeah. So perhaps Facebook is a no-no until after work hours when you're home. Same for all the social media sites. Yeah. And then telephone calls, if you have to go out, make it short,
and
come
do
back.
it during a lunch break, to be honest with you, except there's a family emergency, which is understandable. But you may, what we're talking about here is persistently going out to pick up your calls, or even being in the office and picking up your calls, or checking how you can apply for a new job at work. Those are the things you should do at the weekend or when you get home in the evening.
Yeah.
If that's
again, people notice and they may not see anything, but it's on record somewhere.
So what we're trying to say as a way of recapping is that people are always watching.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, people are always watching you. And we're not saying that this is an exhaustive list. There will be many, many other things you never do in the workplace, but we've just identified these 5 things as what we should be careful about.
Thank you.
And we would love you to join this conversation. Please send your comments. You can comment below. Let's hear from you. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon.